Okay, it's now time to do some refinement, and the first thing I'm going to notice now is it's not quite touching. The ball here is not actually quite touching these two rods, and the way I do that is to select the rods. So I'm selecting now in object mode, and in the margin here, in the sensitivity, this is on the physics tab, so click on the physics tab, make sure you got the rods selected. This will be 0.01. If we accept that change now and press the play button, it'll restart itself. Here we go, and it's now definitely touching. So you can see it there, it's definitely touching all the way down. So that sensitivity is important to be able to play around with. You obviously don't want to do it if you're standing a long way back, it doesn't matter. But if you're up nice and close and personal like we are here, you want it to be able to do that sort of thing. The next thing we're going to be able to do, or want to do, is to actually play around. It's pretty boring, this slope, so let's actually play around with it so that we can see a little bit more intensely, or get some sort of interest into it. So basically we're going to sit there and we're going to go into edit mode. We press A to deselect those and press Control R on this one, click it again, and press Control R on this one, click it again. Now I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to go to front view, no, view, right will be fine. Press A to select or deselect them all, press B to box select, grab them both there, and you should get both sides selected, not just one side. Go back to view and right. I'm going to grab that now, and I'm going to grab it in the Z direction and just pull that down like so. Now I'm going to grab it in the Y direction, pull it across like this. That's going to be quite steep there, and then press tab to bring out of that. I'm going to move the ball now, grab it, ball's going to go there. Let's see what happens now if we play it. Okay, first time round it sometimes just behaves a bit spacklishly. Let's see now. There we go. It goes faster and then slows down out there. Okay, hit stop now. Press on this and press the tab key, and we're going to do this again. Just get a bit of a view here. Press A to deselect, and press Control R, and I'm going to click on this one. Double click to select that, and going to press Control R again. Double click to select this, go back to view, go back to right, press A and press B and B box select those guys and grab them and move them in the Z direction up, like so. Now that seems pretty steep, and in fact if I actually render this now or bake this out, the ball's not going to make it over. It's going to get it's not even going to work very well at all. What's happened there? Who knows? Let's try it again. Yep, it's not actually following that that path anymore. It's still following the old path. It's because we're not in object mode. Now let's see what happens. You need to be in object mode for this baking to happen. Now it's not going to quite make it up, and it's going to fall back down again, and it's going to get stuck in there. Interesting, but that's not what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to achieve like a sort of a roller coaster effect. So basically we could steepen this up, but it's a bit sort of angular. So let's actually fix that. So let's just tab into this, and I'm going to press on this little spanner over here, add a modifier, add a subsurface division, and all of a sudden you can see that it's got a bit funny. And I'm going to change this to 1, 2, 3 views there, and 4 views for the render. You can see now that it's sort of a funny sort of shape there. Problem is that if we actually play this now, it's getting stuck there at the moment. As I said, the first render never really works very well. It rolls down, and it's actually still following the original thing, because we need to apply this this particular shape. I don't like the shape of them at the moment because they're sort of narrow in some parts and pointy at the other. So that's sort of a good shape, and it will make it over there. I'm pretty sure. And if not, we can always press Control Z. But before we do that, we need to just press in here and go Tab. And that's the actual shape still. It's still following that shape. It's not actually following the modifier. So first things first, I want to do some things. I'm going to press Control R, grab this one and drag it down to the end, like so. And press Control R on this one and drag it down to the end. It's going to soften that shape a lot more. And then we'll do the same up this end. Press Control R, click on it and grab it and drag it all the way up to the end. Press Control R on this one, click it, drag it all the way up to the end. Once again, it's still going to try and sit and work on that particular modifier. Sorry, on the actual frame, not on the modifier. So we need to apply this modifier, and we need to go back to this mode in order to do it. Now, if we click Apply, the modifier goes away. If we actually go into object mode, into vertice mode now, you'll see that it has heaps and heaps of vertices all the way along it. Really, really complicated. I'll show you the wire diagram just so you can see. Here's the wireframe diagram. You can see how many little extra things it's got in there. So it's really quite a complicated shape now. But that should actually do us well. So if I'm going to press Tab to get out of that into that mode there, and turn the wireframe mode off, back to solid. Now if I press play, it's going to fall through for the first render. It's going to render it again. It might have to render a few times before we actually get this working. You can see now it's actually quite a good deal slower with its first run through, because it's actually doing a lot more calculations, heaps more calculations in that particular equation. It's a bit bumpy there, you can see. Next time through it will be quicker. There you go, this is what it's actually going to look like. Still a bit bumpy in the animation. It's a bit of a bump there. Let's see if we can't fix that now. So I'm going to, on this particular thing here, go to Tools and hit Smooth on that one, and then hit Smooth on the ball as well. See if that plays through. And it's going to delete itself completely. And now it's going to play through. It's going to take heaps longer because it's actually got that. So the animations is not as smooth as I'd like. It's actually very bumpy through there. But we'll see how it goes when it's actually looking a bit smoother. Okay, to fix that up, we might want to go onto this one here, click the physics button, change this margin back out to 0.2 maybe. Let's just keep going now. It's going to animate all the way through there, even though the ball sort of disappeared because we have to recalculate. Still a little bit bumpy there, but it's a little bit smoother too. That bump was pretty bad. But that's a pretty good calculation. That's a pretty good approximation of what we're trying to achieve. Let's just make sure that we've got the view from the camera now. We've scrolled in a long way, and that's what it's going to look like from the camera point of view. Now that that's actually baked and ready to go, if we hit stop and we actually render this, so render this frame here, it's still only going to take 1.65 seconds in order to render that particular animation. You can render that animation through. It makes it all the way through. It's a pretty good animation. So we'll go through for the next animation just to make it look a little better, and we'll look at the lighting and other effects that we can actually add to this.